Merry Vlogmas! Hey guys, it's Kayla.
And I'm Mark Allen.
And this is our channel, and normally we talk about all things Disney, but this month we are doing things a little bit differently. We are doing Vlogmas. That means we're doing a different video every single day this month. And today, no, we are not doing a Bibbidi Bobbidi unboxing.
Although,
we do have those videos though, so if you want to watch those, I'll link that above. But what are we actually doing today, Mark Allen?
I'm learning how to wrap a present.
So we are going to do some gift wrapping. We thought these would be easy because the boxes are pretty much the same size. But we've got some fun wrapping paper, and I'm going to teach you guys how I like to wrap presents, and we'll see if Mark Allen can do it. So to get started, things you're gonna need, obviously wrapping paper, obviously the things that you're gonna be wrapping. You will need, of course, tape and scissors, pretty easy. And then we use like this twine stuff that we got at Target. You can use whatever kind of ribbon that you guys are wanting to. This is just what we like to use. And then of course some little like to from tags. So, okay, let's get started. Okay, so the first thing. Oh yeah?
Yeah.
First thing you need to do is measure out your paper. I always kind of measure it out. I know that this is gonna wrap around my box, so I'm gonna do it going that way. And then you wanna leave, I always try to leave almost the whole width. So for my box, it would be, I would probably say two-thirds of the way up is where you want your paper to end. So I kind of see where that is on one side, and then I kind of guesstimate where that's going to be. And since you're closer, I'm going to have you cut right in between, right on this line. Done with this. Now you're going to do the same thing with yours. Okay, so the next thing that you're gonna want to do, because you want all of your like seams of your paper to be on the bottom of your box so that it doesn't mess with everything. So you're gonna take your box and you're gonna flip it upside down. And if you have breakable items in your box, be careful. Ours are empty. First thing you want to do is take your piece and you're gonna wrap it over. Now when you do this, you need to make sure that you're kind of even on both sides there. And then you're gonna tape it. You're gonna just put like 1 or 2 pieces of tape on here. Kind of the same thing. You wanna do it probably about a little more than 2/3 of the way. So you don't wanna do it all the way over. And then you're gonna flip it around and you're gonna very gently push your box into the paper. This is gonna make sure that it's tight on that side. So this is too much. I have way too much hanging over. So I'm gonna cut that. You're gonna want it to be not all the way to the edge. You want it to be a little bit short. So kind of how we taped it on this, that's about where you want to cut it at. Let me show. So it'll be kind of about right there. So if you guys can kind of see, that's where you want that raw edge to be. Perfect. Sweet. So before we tape this bad boy down, this is a very important step to make your package look just a little bit cleaner, a little bit neater.
Importante.
Yes. So your raw edge, or your piece that you're about to flip over, you need to fold it over maybe about 3/4 of an inch, really however much you want to do. So like that. Should just be a little seam. Yeah. This is just going to give your package a nice finished edge. And then you're going to, again, very gently so you don't tear your paper, pull it nice and tight.
Wow, I lined that up like perfectly.
There you go.
Look at that. How did I do that?
That's awesome.
I'm an expert.
Look at that. And then you can tape it. If you want to get really fancy, you can use double-sided tape so that it doesn't show. You would just do it on like the underneath side. But like I said, this will be on the bottom of your box, so it's okay that you use the just normal Scotch tape.
Wow. Look at that. I line up my seams like perfectly. I wasn't even trying. I'm an expert already.
Okay, so the next step is we're gonna do the sides. And
this is the part that I suck at.
This is the part that's hard, and there's a few different ways to do it, and honestly, for me, it just depends on the shape of the box that I'm wrapping. This one, they all start out pretty much the same. So so your seam is on top, right? So you're gonna take this flap and you're just gonna fold it down. And I always like to tape, so where your seam is, I'll kind of show you on this side. So my seam is right here. I'm gonna put a piece of tape over both of that, so that way when I go to do these little corner pieces, it's all held really nice and tight. So it should look a little something like this before you do your creases.
Mine's like right at the bottom.
So now this is a good example of when you have too much paper. So on his, when he folds down, his paper goes all the way. You don't want that because it's gonna cause some bubbling. So if you do find that you have too much paper, all you need to do is just go through and just cut off a little bit. Okay, so the next step that you're gonna wanna do is to actually kind of make your creases on these little flaps. So what I've done, so we've already taped this, I'm just gonna kind of slide my hand. So I have my one hand on the outside, and then I have my other hand coming in on the inside. And you're gonna go all the way until you're kind of in just like that little corner. And then you're just gonna kind of just come out and crease that edge until you get a nice little triangle. This is kind of the tricky part. So where I always like to grab is kind of more on the bottom of your little flap. Now, if it helps, keep your finger underneath for a little bit to make sure that that stays nice and tucked in that corner. And then you're gonna fold that over, and you're gonna kind of do the same thing. So you're gonna stick your hand all the way in that bottom crack and then smooth that out. And then if it helps, I always like to kind of just put a little piece of tape on those to hold them nice and tight. So that is what it should look like after you've taped it and folded everything over. Your next step with this side, what I always like to do is, because you want to make sure that it kind of lines up evenly, you're going to kind of fold your edge up. And you're gonna kind of see where it meets your angles, and that's gonna be where you're gonna fold it. Because again, you don't want all this raw edge stuff to be showing. So you're gonna kind of fold up, see where you want it, and then that's kind of where you want your edge to be folded. I kind of already pre-folded so that I could see what I was doing. But then you'll you'll fold that. Yeah, and then you'll end up taping it just like that. Here, so you should have a pretty clean folded edge once you're done. So you're almost done. Now the last thing we need to do before we do the ribbon, because we want this to be really nice and clean and crisp and pretty, is you need to press your corners. So literally all you do is you just take your fingers and you just kind of pinch along every single edge of your package. So the next thing we're gonna do is our string, which this is super, super easy. I like the string because it's not as bulky to store. It's still a fun little detail that looks a little bit nicer than just normal like curling ribbon.
It's also easier to transport if you're having to
you can stack your presents a lot easier than when you have the big fluffy bows, which I like the big fluffy bows.
Yeah.
I just like that these are a little easier. So I always do mine so they go around the package 2 times, or like both ways. So you'll kind of just measure and see how much you'll need. So while he's cutting his thread, what I'm doing is I've turned my box upside down so that seam is on top again. I've done my string underneath, and you want to make sure that it's even on both sides. And then what I'm going to do, because I need it to come back around the top, you're going to cross the threads like so. You can put it tie in a knot if you feel like that makes it more secure, but honestly if you just kind of cross it and go like that again, that should be plenty. And then you're just gonna tie it kind of in a knot. We're not gonna do a bow yet, but you're gonna tie it in a knot. So I tie it once and then I tie it again. It'll just be a little knot, kind of like that. Perfect. Sweet. So now, before we tie our bow, we want to put our little tags on. So you can write to and from on there.
To Minnie from Mickey.
And then you're just gonna thread it through. And sometimes these have like the little extra ribbon that you can use to tie it on, which is fun. Okay, so once you've done that, then you're gonna tie one more knot and then you'll tie it into a bow. That's it. And then you have your lovely little wrapped present. So cute. Looks great. How do you feel like you did?
I would give myself a B.
A B?
A B.
All right, well I hope this kind of DIY tutorial was fun and helpful for you guys. Now you're ready to conquer Christmas and wrap all those presents. Okay, Mark Allen, you know what time it is?
It's time for some socks.
Socks, 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 socks. Okay, we're gonna do another one of these ones.
These don't tear very well.
We're really bad at opening these. Ta-da! There's Minnie. You're holding it upside down.
Well.
Look, it's Minnie and Mickey and they're dancing in their cute little dapper clothes.
Yep.
That's so fun. Oh my gosh, she even has like a little feather in her hair.
Yep.
That's so cute.
It's like Dapper Dan Mickey.
Those are great. Those might be some of my favorite ones, I think.
Yeah.
If you enjoyed this video, make sure you give us a big thumbs up. If you have any fun gift wrapping tips that you want to share with us, leave those down in the comments below. And of course, make sure that you are subscribed because we have a lot of really fun things happening this month. We have a lot of really big surprises happening. So make sure that you stay tuned for that. But other than that, we will see you guys next time. Bye.